Okay, so what exactly is going on? How did we reach this place with Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, where we have professional fighters arguing and going at other professional fighters because of their opinion?
You heard it right, motherfucker. I'm fighting Mike Tyson.
I'm retarded?
We have friends and colleagues of Jake Paul coming out saying stop spreading fake news. There's a multitude of YouTubers making content, getting some serious numbers off the back of this guy. And it really does feel like there's a lot of self-validation in terms of opinions and what direction these opinions are directed in. We have professional fighters saying that Mike Tyson's going to blitz this guy with one punch and it'll be all over, and he's going to do society a favor by silencing this piece of shit. We've got a whole set of other professional fighters that are saying that this is dangerous. Why would you get into the ring at this age? Who is sanctioning this? Who is promoting this? Who is gonna buy this? It kind of falls in between two stools where people say, I'm not really too interested, but I will watch it because of the spectacle. And that's something that we have to be cognizant of in terms of how addictive these social media platforms are, and how much the likes of a Jake Paul, as much as you don't like him, understand the algorithm and understand the skill set that it takes to tap into that, especially with young, impressionable teenagers. But adults and professional fighters are not exempt from that either, because we do get to a stage where people's opinions are very subjective. If it's Floyd Mayweather saying that Mike Tyson is going to go in there and absolutely obliterate Jake Paul, you have to understand, where does that actually come from? Does that come from a place of concern for Mike Tyson being an older man fighting a guy in his 20s? Or does that come from a place where he absolutely hates Jake Paul and wants to see somebody, doesn't matter who it is, just blitz him and knock him out? Then you see the likes of a Tyson Fury, and he's saying that this is brilliant for boxing. I'm going to look at an article here in a minute where Froch absolutely goes after him, calls him out for this ridiculous statement. And you have to ask yourself the question, why would you make a statement like that? Is it because he's a massive fan of Jake Paul? Is it because he's a massive fan of boxing? Because if we look at where Tyson Fury has been in terms of mental state over the last couple of years, we've seen that he's done a documentary in the aftermath of retiring, where the documentary was pretty much just about his mental health and how he was deteriorating badly because of being retired, and all he wanted to do was get back into that ring, which he inevitably did against Francis Ngannou. It didn't look too great for him. He's made a massive turnaround in terms of physique in the last 6 months after what essentially was a loss against Francis Ngannou. So you have to think of the mental state that drove Tyson Fury to say that this is good for boxing. Is it because it's good for boxing? Which I think most people can say absolutely not. The less we see of a Jake Paul on the screen, the less we have our kids exposed to these type of disgusting, vile human beings, the better it is for society and for everybody in general. Or is it the fact that Tyson Fury is in this very unstable mental place right now after the Francis Ngannou fight, where he thinks that, well, I'm an older guy, I might be past my prime, I used to be the best just like Mike Tyson, and in my head I'm looking to make this huge comeback, that's why I've cut down all this weight, so I deserve a second chance to prove to the public that I am the best of all time. And in thinking that, we have these blurbs that make the front of newspapers where he says that Mike Tyson should 100% get back in there. Who should stop him? Why should they stop him? If he wants to get back in there and bust Jake Paul and make all the money that he can make, then that's absolutely brilliant for him. And also, this is a mirror image of where he could be in a couple of years' time. Over the hill and struggling mentally unless you're getting back into that ring. We'll jump over here to Froch. We'll hear his opinion on Mike Tyson. The dude's a 4-time world champion, so we got to take into account exactly what he's saying about this outlandish statement from Tyson Fury. And as I said, this comes off the back of this article right here where Tyson Fury wades in onto Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's fight, saying that the bout with a 30-year age gap is fantastic for boxing. Froch responds to that by saying, for Tyson Fury to say that it is good for boxing, he needs to look in the mirror. Have a look at what he's done. Have a look at what professional fighters do and what they go through. And then think to himself that this is Jake Paul, a performing clown, jumping in there with a 57-year-old man who is a legend and an icon of professional boxing. I think that Froch spotted that Tyson Fury's outlandish statement about this being brilliant for boxing wasn't coming from a place of honesty, but more so a place of subjectivity in terms of, if I end up in this spot, I want the media media and the press and my colleagues to back me and to stand behind my choice to get in there and put myself in danger at that age. Tyson Fury has done some amazing work in terms of mental health over the years, and I think in terms of trying to get as fit as he can and getting back into that ring and promoting the likes of a clown show like Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, he would be better off to promote a strategy for ex-boxers to deal with the fact that they're no longer in the limelight, that they're no longer fit enough to get in there and do it, and that the damage that has occurred throughout the years within the ring does have a long-lasting effect on your mental state and your physical state. I think that Tyson would far better serve the sport of boxing if that's where he was aiming his energy instead of promoting garbage like this. And I like to see the likes of Froch, Canelo Alvarez, Mike Perry even, saying that this is garbage, that this shouldn't really be going ahead. Here we have Canelo Alvarez. He delivers his verdict on the Jake Paul fight with Mike Tyson. He says that it's more of a show than a fight. This guy really doesn't like Jake Paul. You can see it when he's asked about him regularly.
Canelo, Jake Paul's made a lot of noise, especially last week. Do you take any notice of him?
Who?
Jake Paul. Do you take any notice of him? He said
That
2
thi-
years.
the thing I'm thinking about is why you guys asking me for that especially fight, Jake Paul, please guys.
And even if you jump over here to Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul, and KSI with the massive head, stupid laugh, and listen to this gay conversation, there is some sense in here.
Stop it.
Oh man, I honestly just think it's sad, bro. I think it's super sad. I don't know why Jake took it. It's a lose-lose. Literally, he knocks out Mike Tyson and he's beating an OAP.
What does that mean?
Old age pension.
Actually, we should say this right now. JJ went out last night
Yeah,
after the fight.
sorry guys. No.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it there for a second. JJ might have gone out last night, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's retarded and he can't say old age pensioner. And the boys don't understand what an old age pensioner is either. And he's fluffed about 4 lines before he even got to that one. Okay, I can't understand how people watch that, but fine.
I actually didn't.
JJ didn't go out
I've
last
had like
night.
3 hours sleep, so I'm like, all right, bro, I'm just gone.
An OAP.
OAP, yeah. So he's 57. Mike Tyson is 57 years old.
Yeah.
Like, yes, in his prime, this would have been crazy. But now it's like, oh, this is just sad.
It's Mike Tyson.
Okay, that's enough of that. I can't put up with them boys. But KSI or JJ or whatever that fool's name is, he does make a good point there in terms of this is a lose-lose for Jake Paul. Because if he goes out there and he blitzes him, all the people are going to jump on the bandwagon of why would you do that to a legend? How can we actually see Mike Tyson go out like that from some clown shit show like Jake Paul? Or you go out there and lose and everyone laughs at you, but you might have that cushion of, well, it's Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan said that he's the baddest guy on the planet even at 57. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. This fight shouldn't be happening. Jake Paul shouldn't be getting promoted. People shouldn't be talking about him like he's a boxer or a professional boxer or any trash like that. The fact that we found ourselves in this situation where the likes of a KSI or the likes of a Carl Froch, Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, all the biggest names in the industry are talking about this fight, and it's kind of split down the middle in terms of opinion. And I think that we could do with some honesty where all these professionals should hold up their hands and say collectively that this guy Jake Paul and Logan Paul and KSI and all these fucking retards should be eliminated from the sport of boxing, removed from the combat sports scene. These guys are grifters. These guys are tapping into a generation that is addicted to social media. And now we have professional boxers playing into the same garbage track that these guys are selling. I think that when we see headlines every day that Canelo Alvarez weighs in on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, or Tyson Fury has his say about this fight, and it keeps on coming. Ryan Garcia says that Tyson Fury is going to obliterate him with one punch. Tyron Woodley says that he's got extraordinary power and there's no way that his skill set isn't going to be on show when he fights Jake Paul. I think that the majority of these opinions are fake. And what I mean by that is that they're coming from subjective point of views. I think that the combat sports community, the fans, and even the professional fighters themselves would be far better served if they would just be honest and say that this guy, Jake Paul, is a blight on society and needs to be eradicated. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe hit like, subscribe, and share if any of it made sense. I appreciate you. Cheers.